there who wants 20 quid for that picture. I mean, you should have thought before you said that.
Yeah. 20 quid isn't very much, Sammy.
It is to me.
Right, okay.
Right,
I'm
brilliant.
on minimum
Well,
wage, so...
how do people get in touch? They can text us.
Text on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
If you can swing by with the £20 today, Sammy would very much appreciate it. She's going away, and a photo of the bum will be yours. So get in touch. Text in if you think you can swing by, and you come up to the studio and you can take a picture of Sammy's bottom.
A couple of people are interested in buffing up the manpower of the show.
Sure.
Rob says, I work for Heart FM in Colchester. I know, it's not a great station. Do you need a coffee or tea boy on the show? I'll charge $6.50 an hour.
No, thank you.
No, okay. Sam in Manchester has got a complaint about that, or a bit of a worry. He says, I love the show, but Harry and Dan sound very similar to me.
Yep.
Except I think Dan's got a slightly lower voice and Harry's is a little bit higher. Is there any chance that Harry could speak artificially high and Dan artificially low in order to increase the difference?
Dan not with us this week. I'm sure we can arrange that in the future. How would you sound, Harry, if you went a bit higher?
I'd sound like this.
Brilliant. It's both charming and it also sounds like we've got sort of, maybe, well, not, I was going to say a woman. No, not a woman. Is it a drag queen on the show? Probably more
Perhaps.
a eunuch.
A eunuch, yes.
It's rare. You don't tend to get as many eunuchs on the radio as you used to.
Bristol. I sound a bit like Pam Ayres when I do
Absolutely. Well, if you could perhaps start work on a poem about, I don't know, gardening.
gardening in the butcher down the road. Yeah, okay.
You get to work on that, and Sammy meanwhile is going through the emails.
Hannah, she came on stage as part of your standard routine, Steve. Can she be in your film?
No.
Richard, he recommended a track by British Sea Power on the show a while back. Can he be in the film?
No.
Right. Daniel is in Cape Town. He loves the extras and office. He has a British passport. He's a graphic designer, but he wants to be an actor. Where does he start?
Not with me.
Rick is in Australia. By the way, Australia
It's not going to happen, Nick.
loves the
Rick,
show.
whatever you're planning, it's not going to happen. Unless it's coming in here to get a picture of her bum, it's not going to happen. What's the question?
Rick in Australia loves the show. Not this one, though. It's nice. He's a screen composer. Can I work with you on any upcoming films you might be working on?
No.
Right.
I tell you what, if you want to be an actor in a film, become an actor. Don't email in a bloke on the radio, because that's not how it's going to work, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go through here and just take a punt on someone because they very kindly emailed in. I mean, I'm sure you're brilliant actors. Brackets, you're probably not. But I can't be giving out jobs left, right and centre because you emailed in. It's very sweet of you. I'm glad you're taking an interest. But come on, be serious. Come on. All right, thank you. I've made my point. I mean, look, there's two actors here in the room. They're not in the movie. What are the chances of you being in it? Slim.
Yeah, I've got one here. It says, I work in a bank, but I'm facing redundancy in an uncertain future. Can I be in your upcoming film? Signed, Anon.
Absolutely not. And if I find out that that was phony,
Yeah.
whatever small income he's getting on a Sunday afternoon is going to be withdrawn as well.
Right.
Unless we can get a picture of his mum.
Okay.
You know how I sometimes DJ at my friend's party? I've done it periodically, and I always like to throw in a new flavour. Not necessarily a new flavour, an old tune, but one which is perhaps unexpected. The parties are normally pretty funky. This is a cool... No, don't give me that look, Harry. This is a seriously good party. It's down in South London, classic old-school house party. I've said before, he wraps the walls in paper. People can scrawl, paint on the walls. Adds to a nice kind of artsy feel.
Boho.
He's boho. He's got smoke machines. He's got... Yes, smoke machines. He's got a sort of snow machine, which is particularly effective. He perhaps drops that in during a particularly great chorus, and I'm not loath to, you know, drop a couple of funky beats, you know, but I also obviously would like to throw in something which could get a mixed reaction on the dance floor. You know, in the past I have rocked it with Something Got Me Started, Simply Red. That was one of the early ones. Absolute barnstorm. It killed. Tried it the following time. It died, but you know, it's interesting. It's interesting how you've got to judge your audience carefully. Never rust on your laurels. What did I do the following year? I did another absolute cracker. Oh, it was of course Susudio. Phil Collins also went well. This time, I was tossing. I couldn't decide. I was trying to toss up a couple of different ideas in my head, thinking about some Vandross, which I did drop, but it was less controversial. It's got a good bass line. This one, I thought everyone loves the tune. Is it going to hit rock them on the dance floor? I'll play a drop for you. See if you can decide how it went down. So Harry, you presume, I guess, that it went down as an absolute storm?
Yeah, everyone would have loved that, surely.
Of course it did, and don't think I wasn't inclined to fade down the fader during the chorus, just to let the room sing. I love it when that happens at a disco. I absolutely love it. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't know why Fatboy Slim doesn't do it, frankly. I'll tell you why, because he's not playing tunes you can sing along to, that's why.
I don't like it at gigs where the singers stop singing and make
And
the
hold the
crowd
microphone.
sing.
You don't like that?
I've not paid for that.
Sure, you don't want to hear...
You know, I can sing at home.
You don't want to hear some drunken women in the front, you want to hear Bono.
Yeah, I've not paid 80 quid to sing at Bono. I paid 80 quid for Bono to sing at me.
Of course you have. I'm not joking when I honestly, this happened. A woman came up to me when I was on the decks and said, without a shadow of irony, this is the best party I've ever been to. And honestly, I've had compliments in the past. It killed me. I was just like, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I've made this woman's life so far. Of all the fun that she's had, this is the best. So there we are, and I am obviously available at small costs for. I was thinking of doing sort of maybe trying to get some celebrity pals to maybe run a little wedding disco mobile DJ thing. Like for sort of competition winners and charity organisations. Might be quite a fun night, wouldn't it? Oh God, why have I said that? What was I thinking? Oh my God, the emails are going to go
ablaze. Crazy already.
Okay, I retract what I said, alright? It's not going to happen. It was just something I was mooting to a couple of pals in a drunken moment. I am not going to come along and start DJing at a charity event. I ain't got the time. Or the inclination. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it.
But what always interests me, you see in the papers it says, Peaches Geldof is like DJing at some club night. Well, what sort of stuff does she play? Is she a good DJ? Is she going to be dropping in interesting things like that?
Yes, good point.
Has anyone ever been to one of those sort of celebrity DJ things? Are they actually any good? Because I'm concerned that they'll be rubbish.
My worry would be that, so you go and see someone like Jarvis, we all love Jarvis, but is he trying to educate me on the dance floor? I don't want to be educated on the dance floor. I want party favourites.
No.
I saw Naboo from the Mighty Bush DJ in Sunderland once. Didn't live up to my expectations.
What were you expecting?
I really don't know. Something a little bit different, a little bit off the wall. It wasn't. It was pretty mundane. In fact, I didn't even think there was a DJ because he's such a tiny fella.
Oh,
Just thought they were playing a mix CD.
how sweet. Guys, we need to address something that's, I think, rocking the nation. Google, with their new service where you can identify your street. I think, is it specifically only 5 major cities? Is that right at the moment?
I think so, yeah.
And there's been some controversy. For those of you not familiar with it, you can click on some kind of service they offer, and you can actually see your street if you live in one of these major cities. And there's been some controversy because some of the pictures captured by their wandering camera have featured various things that perhaps people don't want on there. For instance, a man coming out of a naughty shop. Which I know, which is quite funny, because even though they've pixelated his face out, they've reprinted it in lots of major newspapers. And whenever you see someone in one of those kind of criminal things or reenactment where they say they've blocked out the face, anyone who knows that person would recognise the shirt, the bag, the shoes. There's no chance that you're not thinking, particularly if they've come back with something, in a brown paper bag which they've hurriedly hidden in the bottom of the wardrobe. You know exactly who it is. And that's why it suddenly got me a bit panicky, because I was thinking, we're living in this country now, this world now where cameras everywhere, I'm always up to things I'm deeply ashamed of. So far I've not been rumbled. But have you ever been in an instance when you've perhaps is there any confessions like to make?
Well, Steve, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my childhood. Where I was at school, I was at a very traditional old-fashioned boarding school, and before the Children's Act of 1989, which isn't that much talked about nowadays, but it changed my life. Because until 1989, I was regularly beaten.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, this is quite intense.
And I was discovered in the storage facility of the science labs by Mr. Johnson when I was about 8 or 9 at boarding school. And he beat the hell out of me. He beat the hell out of me for that one.
Why were you in the storage facilities?
I was interested by all the skull and crossbones and the all that sort of thing on the sulfuric acid and the potassium permanganate and all of that. So I was looking at the bottles, and I think I might have been pretending to. I was with a friend, with Jeremy. And I was pretending to drink. Oh, look at me! I'm drinking sulfuric acid, and he came in and surprised us both. And he bent me over a chair and hit me with a gym shoe 3 times.
Oh, dearie me. Has it scarred you? Has it made you the man you are today? Or
well, my stiff upper lip, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, has been stiffening over as I grew up. I always found the process of being beaten by an adult not just very painful, because really, really hurts,
Yeah.
and your bottom is warm for a really long time after. It's a really strange kind of way. But I just found the whole process so terribly embarrassing.
Yes.
For them and for me, and the idea that a man should hit a child, just so kind of, even at that age, even aged 8, I thought that was so embarrassing, such a silly situation for two people to find
Did it
themselves in.
discipline you?
Yeah, because I was really frightened of that man, and but it disciplined me in a really kind of. I was really, really frightened of him, and that's why I didn't want to do it again. I don't think I didn't want to do it again because I thought it was wrong. I was just so scared.
And you've never been in a gym since.
No, or a side
You can never exercise as you try to tie up your gym shoelace.
As a nearly grown-up, I don't like getting told off by other grown-ups. I'd rather get smacked.
Really?
I'd rather someone just, 3 smacks and it's done with, than feeling so ashamed that a grown-up is shouting at me.
No, but the shouting would happen first. They'd get you into the office. They go, "What were you doing in there?" "I'm sorry, sir. I was just..." "You were doing what?" "You know it's very dangerous." Then they give you a lecture, and then they'd say, "Come over here, bend over, go and get the biggest gym shoe you can find." And it was all that was like, "You've given me the hard time. I know what I've done wrong. Don't hit me now, please."
So are you getting told off a lot, Sammy, by adults?
Not a huge amount, but it certainly happens. I was in Toys R Us on Tuesday night, and I was in a box of cuddly toys, and I got told off by someone working in the store who was definitely younger than me.
You actually climbed in the box?
Well, it was irresistible.
Sure,
I mean,
of course
these
it was.
cuddly toys were nearly my size, and I just wanted a big, lovely cuddle. And it was lovely, Steve. It was totally worth being told to get out immediately.
I got told off by a man on the tube once, the man behind the little glass window. When I first moved to London, the tube that I got on in the morning and the tube that I got off to go to work was a long way across London, and that neither had barriers. So every day I was buying a ticket, and every week I was buying a ticket, and I was never getting checked. And I was getting to a point where I was thinking, this is crazy now, because I'm just paying the money and no one's ever checking my ticket. And I like to play by the rules, as you know, but this was just, it was like a slap in the face. So I thought, I'll just see, maybe I'll just travel for a little while without a ticket. And so I did travel back and forth for around 3 months with no ticket. Because no one was checking it. No one was checking it. And so then one day I was just kind of casually, by this point I was blasé, you know what I mean? I was like one of those people who, initially they start to embezzle from the company but then they start to get a bit silly, they're buying flash sports cars, I was taking friends with me, we were drinking, carousing through, and one time I was just, not idly thinking about something else, and a man pulled me over, he said, "Excuse me, show me your ticket." Show me a ticket. And so, weirdly, I'd kept all of my old tickets. For some reason, I'd kept them in this little sleeve. So I showed them that. I was like, "Look, I do buy tickets. I just can't seem to find the one I need here." And he went, for some reason, it was suspicious to him that I'd kept all the other tickets. I don't know why that would incriminate me in some way. But he said, "Go over and talk to the man behind that window." I went, "Yeah. Hello. Where's your ticket?" Well, I did buy one. I bought one at Shepherd's Bush, actually. And he said to me, "Right, if I contact Shepherd's Bush now, and they do not have any evidence of your purchase, okay, we can prosecute you. You could go to prison." You could go to prison!
No.
And I was 23, I had a burgeoning media career, I don't want to go to prison. And so he said, "I'm going to ask you again, have you got a ticket?" "No, I haven't." "Were you lying?" "Yes, I was lying." And he just took great relish in humiliating me, and I paid a sizable fine, just desserts, I understand, but it was the relish he took in humiliating me, particularly as there was a number of other people behind me who were just there to renew their tickets and so on. And I have never committed a criminal act since that I've been caught for. So, quite the guy. Yeah, but, be warned, guys. I know we've got a lot of young listeners who, look up to Steve. Not just because of my gargantuan height, but also because of my strong moral guidance. And so, once again, please always buy a valid ticket. Thank you. Public service over. We will be back after the news. We'll have live music from Bleach, and we'll also be talking to Harry with, I'm sure he's got some horrible confessions. You look like a man with a grim and ugly past
Very
of
much
being
so.
caught in places you shouldn't have been. Back after the news.